The process of long division with polynomials is very tedious, and we don't want to do it if we don't have to. And there's a technique that we use called synthetic division, which kind of condenses the process of long division in certain cases. And it actually only works if your divisor is of the form x minus a number. Okay. Now, if it's x plus 4, that still works because that's the same thing as x minus negative 4. Okay, so if you have something of this form, then you can do this process called synthetic division. And I'm just going to show you how it works with this example. We're going to set it up kind of the same way that we do with long division. But for underneath here, instead of writing out our entire polynomial, we're just going to write out the coefficients. And so make sure that you've written it, your polynomial in standard form with your descending powers of x. And then you write out your coefficients. So we have 4, 5, -6, and 3. And again, if there are powers of x missing, you're going to put zeros in those spots. Out here, instead of putting this whole divisor, we're going to put the 0 of the divisor, okay? Which means what x value makes this thing 0, and that is 7 in this case. Okay? And it's always just going to be actually what c is. Then we're going to do one line down here, okay? And we are going to start by just bringing this first number down below the line. So we're going to put a 4 right there. And we take this number and multiply it by this number out here. So 4 times 7 is 28. Okay? Then we add these two numbers. So we have 5 plus 28, and that is 33. Okay? And we keep doing this same process. So now I have 33 times 7, and that is 231. And then I add these numbers. So 231 plus -6 is 225. And then I take 225 and I multiply it by 7, and I get 1,575. And then I add those two numbers. I have 1,578. And once you get through all of these, okay, you've gone through the last number, you're done with your work, with the computation. Now we just need to interpret. And here are what they are. So these numbers before the very last one, these are the coefficients of the quotient. Coefficients of the quotient. And this last number is the remainder. Okay. So to write this this division out, my answer then is going to be here, my coefficients. I have 4, oh, maybe I should use black. I've got 4x squared plus 33x plus 225. Now the reason I need to start with x squared is because my original dividend was a cubic. I had a degree of 3, and when we divide by an x, that drops us down by 1 in our exponent. So now from 3, we go to 2. And you just work your way down in the exponents, okay? And then we have our remainder, so we have plus the remainder over the original divisor, x minus 7. And that's the process of synthetic division. You can imagine how horrible doing this with long division would be. So synthetic division is a very nice technique to condense our work.